Welcome everybody to another build video with me, a saw dude. Today, what I built is actually a container to hold driving range balls at the golf course where I work. Now, you can put whatever you want in here. It doesn't have to be for golf balls. You could use it as a planter like I've been making. You could use it as a fancy garbage can if you really wanted to. But it's about a little over 2 feet tall. Inside it here is 33.5 inches wide by 16 inches. I think this will serve us well at the golf course. It'll give us something nice to put our golf balls in, because right now they're just in a recycle bin and that doesn't really look nice in the clubhouse. But we just redid our whole inside of our clubhouse for this year in the same cedar wood. So this matches perfectly. I think it'll be great. Stick around to see how I build it and maybe you can make one for yourself.
So the first thing I'm going to do is focus on efficiency. I'm going to cut down my sides 4 at a time so I can really help speed things along. That's something that I've been focusing on off camera, is being more efficient when I make these things, trying to reduce my time out here in the shop. It's getting into summer, not in this video, as you could probably guess by the hoodie, maybe confused by the shorts, but it's starting to be 80, 85 degrees on the daily here, very humid. I live in Ohio. So our summers can get hot, and I'm trying to spend as little time in my non-air conditioned shop as possible. I'd much rather be outside enjoying this beautiful weather. Not that this isn't enjoyable, but you know, I think most of us could probably agree you'd rather be golfing than you would working, because at the end of the day this is work. So we cut the sides, and then because I've been building so many different planters and stuff, I had some extra legs and pieces I can use for the top laying around. So that really came in handy and helped me want to build this project, because I didn't have to bother ripping anything down. I already had a bunch of extras. So now that we got everything cut up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start by assembling our short sides. Because this is a longer planter, if you tried to do the long sides first and then assemble it in the fashion that I do, it's going to be very awkward. This is kind of awkward, but it's manageable, because these sides, when you stand them up on end like this, still aren't all that tall. They're about 17.5, maybe 18 inches tall, outside to outside. So when you stand them up on the side like this, like, they can hold themselves up. It's not very wobbly. And then we're going to go ahead and duplicate that, another short side. As you can see, they're 4 fence pickets tall. I chose my length so that I wouldn't have to cut any along the bottom. They would just be the same length as my sides, which worked out really nice. Helped reduce, having to make different cuts, and allowed me to work faster. So we're going to go ahead and finish up the second side here. As you can see, we glue all the pieces together and then nail them on with the brad nailer. I'm using 1-inch brad nails. They so far have done me well. So now that we got both sides together, I had to move off my workbench. It wasn't quite long enough. We're going to go ahead and stand both those sides up like I said, and then we're going to take our long sides and we're going to lay them all in here. So you see I already put the glue down. I measured this before I started filming, so I knew they'd fit. We're going to get them all in there, square everything up the best we can, nail them into place. 6,000 nails later, as you can see, I had to put some more in the gun there. Then we're going to put this little cleat along the bottom so that we have something to put our bottom boards to when we get to that step. So we're going to flip it over. Got to be a little careful. It is slightly flimsy, but it's not too bad. Lay our other side in here, get everything squared up, and then nail away. Bang, bang, bang. Something like that's the exact noise the nail gun makes. You wouldn't even know that I just did that with my voice, and that wasn't actually the nail gun. We'll put our other cleat in this side, and then we'll move on to putting in our bottom boards. Like I said, I made this so I wouldn't have to rip any boards. They fit in there side by side. 33 inches is divisible by 11, which is divisible by 5.5. 5.5 inches is how wide these fence pickets are supposed to be. That's what we planned for, and in this case it worked out. Then we took some boards. I measured to make a more custom fit here. You're going to want to do this yourself, whatever your box ends up being. You don't want to go by my dimensions. You want to really cut this to fit the top of your box to be sure it looks good. So we put it together and we put it on, nail it down. Pew, 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 pew. More nails. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it's done. Here's some pictures of the finished build. I hope you enjoy it. Please like, comment, subscribe, check out my other content, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.